goodness me. Where does one start? I can't believe what I just watched. This is the side of Andrew Tate that nobody is talking about. This normalization of, it's even backwards. We are celebrating women and they are the most special things on earth, and we don't want women that have been run through. Whilst promoting having a girlfriend, whilst running through other girls. And it's like, there's thousands of them who are all being taught that this is normal. I just watched a podcast with somebody who's clearly, and there's, as I say, there's thousands of them. Their sole business model is creating a network of men who are all purporting the same, don't get me wrong, some of Andrew Tate's content, wholesome, get rich, leave the matrix, get fit, amazing. Be your best self, push yourself beyond all boundaries. But then there's this aspect that nobody is talking about. And when people do try and talk about it, it's poo-pooed. But it's clearly being reiterated, and it's clearly having an effect on young men who think that this is completely normal. It may be to some people. I understand that some people do have open relationships, and maybe this is just different views. I have to be because my way of life, for example, where I am very, very headstrong about what I want and what I don't want. However, it doesn't hurt others. And some people may be completely okay with it. As I say, there are plenty of people out there that have open relationships. I think it's unnatural. Biologically, spiritually, and ethically and morally, that's up to the people that are participating in it. But if men are leveraging themselves to a point of power and then saying to the girl, if you want to be with me and you want to have this great lifestyle, this is how things are going to go down. And that is what is being purported. Listen to this.
I just want to understand from your point of view, as a man operating in that realm, as you're operating right now, what do you see? Do you see the psychology of the woman being harmed by that in any respect?
Well, there's certain aspects to it, because you have to make sure somebody's looked after when you're doing something like that, to make sure that they feel you're loved still. Because otherwise, I think they would be harmed. They would feel abandoned, and you can't be a guy that's going and falling in love with other girls. That's not on. And my girlfriend knows that. She sees that I don't fall in love with other girls. And a large part of that is because I met her before I did YouTube or had anything. So we had a very deep, quite a deep bond and connection, and she's shown loyalty to me time and time again. And we do it together sometimes. We'll go meet other girls together, and she knows I'm not the kind of guy that's going to fall in love with the first girl that comes across me. So she's quite comfortable, I think, and would prefer that I was just honest compared to showering my emotions. And I think doing it together can be quite important as well, getting your girlfriend to find other girls for you, bring them into the relationship, because they get a feeling of sort of a little bit of feeling of control and being included in it.
But I think it's something that we have to bring out into the open, because it's rife as in successful young men these days, that this is how they want to move.
Yeah, this is how the majority of successful young men are moving, and if they're not already moving like this is how they want to move. From pretty much everyone I've spoken to. And whether or not you can pull that off and your intentions are right, I don't know. But a lot of the guys I speak to seem to be doing very, very well with it and be very happy. And I've met many of their girlfriends, and they're very loyal and seem very, very happy with the situation that they're in.
It's just completely normalising this thing. And they all seem to be cardboard cutouts of each other. They all pose like this. They all smoke cigars. They don't take off their sunglasses in interviews. And I just think to myself, people are earning money from it. People are doing 100k a month just being in a group to be more like these people, which is a little bit worrying. And they see this as being powerful. And this whole thing about leaving the matrix. Andrew Tate is a multi-millionaire. Bugattis, private jets. He's got all of the money in the world, yet he's still at the peril of the matrix. He cannot escape the matrix. His business model fundamentally is wrong. Yes, have financial freedom. Yes, have location freedom. Yes, have fuck you money. Live life on your terms. But now he's been imprisoned and now he's on house arrest. Who knows what the actual charges are? It took them 6 months to charge him. meaning there must not be any cut and shut evidence there. They are trying to, you know, manufacture a case. But this stuff that is evidently being purported and being taught in his groups, like, and it's evident. And as I say, like, there's going to be people that are hurt, and it's not going to be the men. It's not going to be, I mean, and it will be the men, you know, later on. I've done that, you know, I've been a womanizer. I have seen lots of different girls, and I'm telling you, spiritually, it gets at you after a while, and it's not something you can do long term. You know, everybody is young once. You know, I've slept with 5 different girls one day after the other. I've slept with 3 different girls in the space of 24 hours. I am not proud of it. I'm not saying that to impress you. I'm saying my life was so low at that point that I sought solace and importance and meaning and purpose in these encounters. I just think to myself, like, if this is what young men are being taught, yes, the business, the mindset, get fit, amazing, but this open relationship, essentially grooming people to be able to be their whatever they want them to be. And this kid, and he's clearly still very young, built up an audience on YouTube, and people are evidently listening to him. And, you know, young men don't have a place to go. You know, they are a little bit disillusioned, hence why Andrew Tate has an audience. I just think that aspect of it is a little bit shitty. I mean, a lot of it shitty. You know, and evidently that's what they're trying to nail him on, rightly or wrongly. And I know his messaging has been scaled back somewhat, but look at the effect that it's having in his disciples. Look at how now he is teaching more people that this is what you should do if you can get away with it. You know, if you can justify it. It's like, what happened to just a man and a woman? You know, or whatever you're into. I'm not discriminating, but don't say that women are the most precious thing on earth, you know, and then be treating them like they're not. Like, you know, and hence why I'm making this video. I was just like, I can't believe what I'm watching. Like, and young men are following this stuff and just parroting it. And in a lot of instances, that's why I've created this channel, because all of this money Twitter and money YouTube, it's all protein bros. And there's this extreme version of relationships and love, which is gonna fuck a lot of people up later on down the line. Speaking of experience, you know, whilst I didn't, you know, coerce or groom anyone into an open relationship, I was not very nice to people because I didn't have any self-love, I didn't have any self-respect. Men getting into a place of power or wealth, and it's a little bit like when you look at McGregor, who continually cheats on his partner, or Wayne Rooney, and you think, why don't they just leave him? Well, they're never gonna leave the lifestyle, they're never gonna leave the conditioning and the level of wealth that they've got, so they are a little bit stuck. You know, and I don't know the ins and outs of, and again, I'm just purporting what's being reported in the paper. We've all seen the videos and the whatnots, but it's not as if he's going to his partner and then manufacturing an open relationship. Like, I have to look at this like with an open mind. Maybe it's just me and I don't understand that because I'm wired the way I am. But I think deep down, these boys / men don't really know themselves, and they are, as I say, they're being taught by this, and this is the way. You know, I grew up on a council estate selling drugs because I thought that was the way. You become your environment, and if you are in these networking groups who are telling you that this is the way, you're going to, and this is what is the worrying part, is that all of these business models that are coming out of the war room or the real world, and then there's like lesser versions of the same shit. They're little cardboard cutouts of each other. They're all smoking cigars. They're all doing the pose. They're all wearing sunglasses in the interviews. And I just think to myself, like, is this what the world is coming to? Like, hence why, like, people need to have a place that they can come and like think, this is a little bit fucked up. And that's literally all I wanted to say, is just like, please, please, please don't get sucked into this bullshit like this is normal, because it's not. And again, I'm listening to myself, it's just like, normal, 9 to 5 is normal for a lot of people. I'm in a business model that is not normal. So is it me, or is this genuinely not normal? Is this just like, I can't see any girl that would willingly want to be in an open relationship if they've got any self-esteem or self-respect. And I know there are people out there, so I can't judge, but I just worry about, you know, I put myself in my son's positions, 10 and 12, and then discover it, you know, being in an environment like that where they are then parroting this stuff just because that's all they know and this is the education they are getting. Get rich, escape the matrix, and then treat women like this. I just think as men, you know, as they purport themselves to be, can be better. Yeah. Bit of a different one today, a little bit of a ranty one, but I feel like it needs to be said because YouTube, Twitter is rife with this kind of content. And as I say, like 95% of it, amazing. All about self-empowerment, self-belief, mindset, training, physical ability, being able to defend yourself, etc., etc. But then there's this little 5%. And I guess, you know, that's what is being blown up in the media, and rightly so. We don't know what the outcome is of this trial and what the actual evidence is. But, you know, if they're actively training people in this way of life, it's going to cause a lot of damage to both men and women, especially later on in life, you know, as they get older. You know, because what you don't see of Andrew Tate, he's got a family and but that's not good for business. You never ever see his partner or his children. You think that she's happy with him, genuinely happy with him sleeping with lots of different women. And it's one rule for the men and another rule for the women. This is the equality part. So if a woman then came to one of these men and said, I'd like to have an open relationship, how do you think that's going to go down?